Hello, I'm Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also a co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto
Mm.
Chow, and I have my glasses on.
Yeah, I was asking one of my daughters to go get them, but they're actually right there.
If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. Thanks so much for joining us on our keto journey.
You want to
Glasses or
unplug and
no?
go get them? Elizabeth says you both sound exhausted. I'm pretty tired, but we'll see. I don't think that's going to work.
I'm just not going to squint. I'll just pretend I can see.
Well, Debby is on, so is Randy and Heath. Let's see. Shauna is on as well. They're just talking back and forth.
Back and forth.
Randy says, Debby, I bet you that Chris will say they don't have any information regarding apple pie in the big bags.
How about this? I'll say it.
I already said it once today.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to say it.
You can go ahead and say it.
It's fine. It's already passed.
All right. Shauna says 23 days until Keto Palooza. I'm so excited. We actually have to get an additional hotel room because originally it was going to be me and Shauna,
Lynette,
and Lynette.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bronson was going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think two crazy ketos are staying there as well. And then you decide that Holly and Steve are coming.
Yep. That's because they really wanted to come after last week, and they're like, please, can we come?
And we don't have that much space, so they're going to get a hotel room in the hotel room.
We'll figure it out.
Thing is at.
We love having them, so it'll be fun.
Let's see. Betsy is on.
Hi, Betsy.
I'm not sure. Hey, what's up, family? With a
That's
heart.
Rachel.
That's probably Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm assuming so. Two Crazy Ketos were awfully busy today with multiple videos being posted.
They posted videos about our new kits.
That's correct. You'll see something about them down here in just a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, so the different starter kits.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the starter bundle, the elite bundle, the premium bundle, all sorts of fun stuff. Let's see. Tabitha just jumped in the pool and ran through myself. Thanks, kids. Just teasing. That's awesome. Let's see. We're almost caught up to where we started. Emily says hello, everyone.
Hello.
Chad is on.
Hey, Chad.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Rachel. His chili is very good. It won a chili cook-off at church. People were shocked. It was so good without beans and sugar in it. Fun fact, Joe contacted me today and he said, can you believe I never did a video about the Keto Chow chili? I'm like, yeah, you did.
Here it is.
He's like, oh man, I could not find that. We actually had it on our page about his chili.
Oh, yes.
And if you Googled Keto Chow chili,
you can find
it was right there at the top, his video. So I was happy to be able to help out.
Oh, you're so nice. Let me Google that for you.
Brian is on. Says, great evening, y'all. Hope you're having a fantastic day. What is the flavor of the week, Miriam?
So we've got salted caramel in the go packs.
And that's an interesting thing. We do not have salted caramel in the large bags. Some people have contacted us saying that the salted caramel in the large bags tastes different from the previous large bags.
So we're going to do some more testing on it.
Yep. We actually went, Steve took a whole bunch of different batches that were mixed up down to the place where it's made and said, we want you guys to taste this. The problem is, I don't smell very good right now. No. Because I'm all stuffy still.
Smell very good right now.
I said that during stand-up and people were like, woo, yeah, you don't smell good. Anyway, my sense of smell is still
allergies
messed up from all that. And so I can't taste the difference. Miriam is insistent that yes, it's
which
there.
is funny because usually I can't taste the difference, but I can. Yep. But it's fine. We'll figure it out.
That's right.
So if you had a problem, let us know so we can fix it for you.
Yep.
If you have a problem, I'll solve it.
Check out the base while the DJ revolves it.
Nice.
Elizabeth says, I have got to learn how to cook. All these recipes I hear about make me want to, so I can eat.
You should make the chili, though.
Rebecca
It's totally
says,
worth it.
am I late? I was watching Dr. Bear. You were actually
Oh, yay.
a minute and 30 seconds early. So good job.
I was watching Dr. Berry, too.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Maitreya is on. Says, hi, everyone. TC's Life is on as well. He says, time for a Tuesday Twister. Let the shenanigans begin. And it shouldn't be buffering. I've got 0 drop frames, although my nose is super itchy.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Sarah says, good evening from Kentucky.
Good evening, Sarah.
Kentucky?
Are you going to Keto Palooza, Sarah?
Let's see. Elfina says, hi, everyone. Matt is on. Says, it enjoyed the 2 Crazy Ketos videos that were posted today. Looking forward to trying some guava grapefruit pudding.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Remember, it's pronounced guava grapefruit.
No, it's not.
It is. Guava grapefruit. Somebody says, howdy, Keto Chow groupies. Let's see. Kristi Davis is on.
Kristi! She is giving away bundles also.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
on the Keto Village Facebook page. So Joe and Rachel are doing it on the YouTube, and Kristi is doing it on the Keto Village Facebook page. Is that correct, Kristi? I'm pretty sure I saw one of the posts. No, not the YouTube. Facebook.
You said on the YouTube.
The
Joe and
YouTube
Rachel on
channel.
YouTube. I know. Anyway, Carla is on. Rebecca says, we're keeping my daughter out of college fall term due to the Delta variant. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Rachel says, you guys may be tired. They look super cute.
Oh, we're not that tired.
He says it was awesome to finally meet. Yeah. It's on now.
Hi.
Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up. We're saying hi to everyone.
Trying to put myself back together.
Question. Can my friend who has Crohn's use Keto Chow?
A lot of people that have Crohn's use Keto Chow.
Now, that said, I don't know very much about Crohn's. So,
yeah, that's true. We don't know a ton about Crohn's.
I couldn't tell you either way. It may be a viable option for someone who has Crohn's. I unfortunately don't know.
We'd have to see what other things that they can eat.
Yep. I do know that people who have IBS will frequently use acacia gum as a supplement to help strengthen their gut barrier. And Keto Chow has a lot of acacia gum in it, so it may work really well.
Yep.
He says, chili is the perfect keto food. If you know beans about chili, chili ain't got beans. Tigers Keto says, thanks for testing each batch for us to ensure quality. And the thing is, I actually tested the salted carbs.
We tested it.
And as far as I was concerned, it tasted the same. Now, this was weeks ago.
Yeah, but you know what? We do appreciate your feedback because, you know, one test could not have been a good enough test. So I'm glad that we're retesting, and that's fine.
Yep. Anthony says, whoop, whoop, made the live. Tamara says, hello, everyone. Ticker Ezekiel says, yes, I love apple, caramel, and pumpkin stuff for fall. Mike is on, says, hi, Miriam and Chris.
Hi, Mike.
Amanda says, hello, everyone. Marcy says, I was watching 2 Crazy Ketos and then came over for YouTube. Welcome.
Thank you.
Sarah says, I end up having a conflict. I can't go as of right now.
Oh, sad.
Super sad.
Well, we'll think of you while we're there. And we'll wave to you wherever you are.
But Trey says, I love the 2 Crazy Keto chili, but it has to be below 90 degrees.
I know, because it's warm. We had ramen noodles for dinner.
Yep.
Keto ramen. It's actually a recipe that's coming out soon.
Yep.
Surprise!
Tamara says, can you mix salted caramel and apple pie? Personally, I like the chocolate toffee mixed with the apple pie a bit better.
Have you? I haven't mixed it.
Well, when we were first working on apple pie, we were actually trying to make a caramel apple flavor, and that didn't happen. The apple pie was way better, but we did try mixing it up with the salted caramel during the product development.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I can't remember that at all, but that's okay.
Sarah says I made fat bombs with the guava grapefruit and really like
said no sound.
Refreshing.
No sound.
Wait, sound.
Hello?
Oh, Miriam
Hello?
didn't have sound.
Oh.
Oh, maybe because
I unplugged and plugged it back in?
So I have my microphone turned down. And I have Miriam's microphone turned way up.
Oh, so maybe they weren't.
So when Miriam goes away,
because you were coming through on mine.
Quite quiet. Because my microphone by itself.
Sorry, I just wanted to get my glasses.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Miriam. Okay, so everyone, yeah. You mentioned me in the volume. Let's see. Ginny says I just had an inch of rain in 30 minutes here in Illinois, and the ceiling is leaking into 4 different bowls.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just so you know, Jessica Rosa says hello. Sonia says I don't have Crohn's, but my IBS-D has completely disappeared.
Oh, that's good.
Rebecca says, how do I change my screen name? I never answered to Rebecca. So you actually, it's something that you need to change in YouTube itself. I'm actually not sure where exactly in YouTube, but it's like in your account settings.
Look in your account settings.
Because basically you have a channel, even though you may not be using it, and that's what it is set to.
So go to account settings, and it probably you have a profile. I bet if you click on your profile, there's a way to change it in there.
Yep. Let's see. Too Crazy Keto says, yep, always bacon. Susan says, good evening. Matreya says, yay, Robin. Mike says, I went down for about 30 seconds for me and then came back up. Kristi says, has anyone made my Keto Chow noodles yet?
I haven't.
Got the squeezy bottles. Do you have the other stuff yet?
I didn't buy the other stuff yet.
You should order it while we're going to be gone, and it'll be here when we get back.
Well, that's what I did with the squeezy bottles, so they're here, which would have been great for the ramen today.
It would have.
We just used the shirataki noodles, and we used the beef soup base as part of the recipe.
Jay Morales is here. He says, yo, yo, yo.
Hey. Yo, yo, yo.
Shauna says apple pie is also good with snickerdoodle. Joe got on the Two Crazy Campers channel, says eating chocolate mint Keto Chow ice cream in the hot tub while watching the live stream.
Nice. I need some ice cream.
Did the hot tub finally come then?
I guess.
He ordered it and it wasn't ever being delivered. Let's see. Two Crazy Keto says I'm excited about keto ramen. Kim says apple pie and salted caramel is delicious. Heather is on.
Oh, we put the chocolate mint cookies on top of the chocolate mint Keto Chow ice cream.
Okay.
Yum.
Karen's on. Says hello, everyone. My chocolate mint Keto Chow is sitting in the fridge for tomorrow, but I want it now. But Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa now. And I need a hot tub.
Golden goose.
Matt says I think I need to get at least 1 pack of every flavor and do 3 shakes a day until I get through them all.
You could do that. You want to supplement with some more protein,
we're up to 30 flavors that have been released at some point. Some of them are limited edition and aren't available right now, but so that would take you 10 days to get
available
through all of them. Yeah. Let's see. As I'm burping into my thing. TC's Life says we got that thunderstorm that went through an hour ago. Also, the temp dropped 25 degrees. It's nice out now.
Wow, go outside for a walk, yeah?
Randy says I tried the fruity cereal Keto Chow hack today. It does taste like Fruit Loops. Maria's on.
Hey, Maria.
Jay says we love seeing you at Keto Summit.
Yeah, we love being there. It was way fun.
Matreya says, yeah, I made them. They're awesome. I love the Keto Chow noodles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kristi Davis is a good source for that. Sherry says, I tried Keto Chow back when you were selling it in your home, like 2015.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep.
Oh,
in silver bags? Probably.
How's your business?
Let's see. Marie says that she's ear hustling. Randy did key lime and raspberry cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds good.
He says, I'm loving this new job. I work 2 days and get 2 days off. I installed a whole kitchen full of cabinets, and now I have to wait for painters.
Oh, that's cool.
Huh. Jen says, I just got a Cuisinart ice cream maker off a garage sale for $10. Now, just be aware, if it's one of the ones that has the bowl that you freeze, the bowl, if they ran the bowl through the dishwasher,
okay,
it may not work as well as it should.
Yeah, so just be prepared for that. But I think you can buy replacement bowls, can't you?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Something to look up.
I know Carrie Brown has a lot of bowls.
I know
but
she has just the extra bowls.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm sure that it's probably a thing.
Yep. I'm glad you're liking the new job too. Sonny says, yeah, TC, that was a weird storm. Let's see. Jack says, let's see. That is a spam message.
Oh, we'll just delete that.
So let's block them in Facebook and block them in Restream. Yay! Oh, Sarah says you can buy replacement bowls. Nice. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff that we have going on this week.
Okay.
Debbie has a good question.
Okay.
Are you able to use an avocado as your fat source in Keto Chow if you use an immersion blender or just a regular blender to mix it?
Yep, we have had a lot of people do that. It does have a taste, but
Tastes
it
like
depends
avocados.
on what you like. I have done it myself and haven't loved it, but I also haven't played with it very much. So I would say if you want to try it, try it.
Yep. So yeah, that's just one of many different types of fat that you can. And continuing on that thread, actually, Travis at work, this was the one he put in. If money was no object, what brand of butter would you recommend using for Keto Chow?
For ourselves? Well, I do like the way Kerrygold tastes. I don't like how it separates easier.
I don't like the way it melts. I like
melts,
the
yeah, that's
Sam's
the
Club
thing.
and the Costco salted butter.
Is that weird?
Better than any other one.
But on the previous thought, we do have a couple of recipes that use avocado in the recipe. So
Yes.
I think there's like a pudding and there's another, oh, I can't remember, like a custard or something. I just forgot. But they're cool and you can try those out if you want to.
Okay. Elizabeth had a question. Can someone tell me what I'm supposed to add if my shake is too salty? I know that if for too sweet, add salt. I don't remember what to do if it's too salty.
Yeah, well, a lot of times if you think it's too salty, first of all, how long have you been doing keto? Because when you first start keto, everything seems like it's too salty. That's keto products because you're used to being.
Your body hasn't gone, give me all the salt.
Your body hasn't decided it needs
salt,
it yet because it's used to having the holding of the salt and not getting rid of the salt. But I also would see how much water you used because it's possible you didn't put enough water in when you mixed it in the first place.
Yeah, so if you've got a blender bottle of Keto Chow, generally speaking, where most people like it the most is full up to the bottom of the threads, which
or
is
like
the
20 ounces.
We used to say on the instructions to add 14 ounces of water. It now says add 1 3/4 to 2 cups of water. Because when people saw the add 14 ounces of water,
they brought it up to the 14-ounce line, which isn't adding 14 ounces. It's actually adding like 10 to 12.
Yes. So yeah, when we changed the instructions to say add 1 3/4 to 2 cups of water, that's a lot easier for people to understand. They also they can understand that you can add more, especially if it's too thick or it's too salty. Please add more water. So there you go.
Yay.
Diane says Keto Chow is helping me get through being a vacuum.
Oh, you're a vacuum.
Just tried the apple pie and salted caramel. So
I'm glad it's helping.
Everybody's like
talking
really
about Carrie Brown's cat.
Carrie Brown, that's right. Harry Cown.
Nope.
I don't know what's going on. Shauna says, has anyone made a Keto Chow combo of chocolate and pistachio? No, I have not.
What?
I don't know.
I'm liking the idea of pistachio pudding though. We're gonna make that for the show this week.
Yep. No, and Janice points out something. I have yet to try it with butter still. I've only used heavy whipping cream.
Oh.
When you are just starting off keto, I highly recommend just using heavy cream unless you have a reason to do otherwise.
Yeah, it's just really easy.
It's so easy, and some people, they have a bad experience mixing it with butter because you need to use a blender and you need to use really warm water and melted butter. And that may taint people's experience with Keto Chow. Just because they're like, this is hard to do. No, it's super easy as long as you do it right. And if you're having troubles, just start with heavy cream. Yeah.
The other thing about heavy cream, about butter, is the flavor comes in stronger.
Quite a lot.
Whereas the heavy cream, it's more muted because it's more creamy. And so, you think about it like a chocolate would be more a dark chocolate or a milk chocolate, like that kind of. That's a reminder of that.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that.
It's fine. You can laugh at me.
I'm laughing at Sarah. She said,
What does Sarah say?
I used so little salt in real life, went keto, and 3 years later, it's giving me all the salt.
I know, like, just grind it over my face.
True. Debbie says, right now I do Kerrygold for everything butter. When I deplete my stash, then I will buy Costco brand for shakes and Kerrygold for.
Yeah, because it really does taste, that Kerrygold really does taste good.
Except I don't taste it very much in the Keto Chow.
Yeah, you can't taste it in the Keto Chow.
So I'm not going to waste something that expensive on, waste something on,
yeah, where you could, butter that on your Fox Hills buns.
Yep. Randy says, I primarily use butter to make my Keto Chow. Nice. See, that's when you're ready for the next level. Sarah says, I made layer pudding of chocolate, pistachio, and cherry.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Rachel says, I told the chef from Redmond what you did that, Shauna, with the Redmond Smoke Chef Blend on the chocolate coffee. And he thought it was cool. Yeah, Sean?
Sean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca says,
Chef
I melt
Sean.
my butter in the microwave first.
That's what we do too.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. So here's another question for you. Madeline asked, is there a problem with sipping a Keto Chow over an hour or so, or should I be drinking it in 15 to 20 minutes?
You can drink it over a period of time. I used to do that all the time because I couldn't drink it fast enough. But it just depends on what you want. If you want to try to eat at smaller time periods, maybe put a little bit less fat in it, so it's not as hard to drink over a period of time. Also depends on, I guess, what you're trying to accomplish, but I feel like it's not that big a deal if you do.
Now, there are benefits to having a smaller eating window. When you continue to eat over a longer period of time, it keeps your insulin elevated for a longer period. Whereas if you, you don't want your body to get used to that sort of thing. Eat and then don't. And then eat and then don't. It is a better way to do it. And it's kind of what's the crux of the intermittent fasting or time restricted feeding regimen. Don't snack in between meals. Have a smaller window of when you're going to do it.
Yep.
And if that works for you, great. If you are having success doing, slowly sipping on a Keto Chow for a period of hours, and that may be just fine. And we're all in different places on our keto journey. This was actually something that I noticed when we were in Omaha and we had dinner with friends. Some people were able to eat stuff that had almond flour in it. I was looking through. I knew that Heath couldn't. And so I'm like, and that has almond flour, and that has almond flour, and that doesn't. You can have that. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Because for some people, having stuff with almond flour, not a big deal. For other people, huge deal. Some people having stuff with jalapenos,
not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Other people, they cannot do it.
Yep. Whereas your mom also can't do almond flour because it makes her sick. And I actually try to stay away from it because I don't dislike it. I like it, but I find that it helps me to stall for sure. So.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So for you, in this case, Madeline, drinking it over a period of time may work extremely well. For other people, they may be at a place in their keto journey where if they do that sort of thing, they stall out or they just don't have success at all. So try it out, see if it works. If you're having issues, maybe try not doing it for a long period of time. So let's see. Brian likes to clarify butter with some rosemary from the garden.
Oh.
That I'll melt over her ribeyes. Haven't done that in a while. Must be time.
I think so.
Rachel says that straight up. Made my mouth water, Brian. Tess says I can't make my Keto Chow last longer than 30 seconds. Now, I'm not sure that drinking it that fast. I here's one of the things that I like about Keto Chow. Okay, we make it, but we also use it.
Yes.
And every once in a while, I'll be sitting there drinking it, and I'll swish it around in my mouth because I'm enjoying the flavor and the texture. And every once in a while, I'll be like, "Oh, wow, yeah, that's so good," as I'm swishing it back and forth while I'm reading email or something like that. So I mean, I have drank them in that short of a time, but I didn't enjoy it as much. And
In
my
30
stomach kind of
seconds?
said, "Whoa,
Oh, hold on.
what are you doing?
Hold on,
dude?"
cowboy.
Let's see. Janice says, "I love my Keto Chow on my 20-minute drive to town or just traveling in general."
That's awesome.
MJ's on. Welcome, MJ. Let's see. To Kristi Keto says, "I start to get sad at the halfway point of my Keto Chow."
Me too.
That's I get that way too, and then I get to the bottom. I'm like, oh. Then I set it down, and then a couple minutes later, it's all now collected at the very bottom. There's that one last bit. Let's see. Kabul Bryce says, "I cannot believe I didn't get a blood glucose spike from that
Yeah,
pizza."
that was 9 carbs.
9?
Yeah. You didn't have the pizza.
Okay, so here's the thing.
He had the last Pizza Guts bowl.
At Omaha, there was a company that makes a keto crust pizza.
He should have known to
And-
make more. Hello.
Yeah, and one of the things that they offered was a no crust keto pizza.
They had
it was,
like
it was
15.
Pizza Guts.
They had like
They
15
made
of those.
12.
Oh my gosh.
They made 12.
So then I was all whining. I'm like, you couldn't even sacrifice that for your wife.
It
And
was
he
halfway.
did-
I
he
offered it to you,
He offered
and
it
you
to me.
refused.
But
So
by
don't bring it up
then,
again.
I'm like, but I didn't want half. I wanted the whole thing.
They should have made so many more of
They
those.
should have made only that.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's like when I eat pizza, I just want the gut. It's like tacos. People, I don't actually want the tortilla. I want the meat and the cheese and the sour cream. I want the guts. Same thing with pizza.
Yeah, the only thing that I miss about pizza is that you get to hold it, right?
No, I'd rather just eat it with a fork. It's like eating melted cheese with a fork, which is what you're doing with Pizza Gut. Let's
salt.
see. Randy says, "I think doing Keto Chow in the 64-ounce glass would probably not be a good thing." Anthony loves jalapenos. Let's see. Too Crazy Keto says, the wrap they made could have covered a king-size bed. Yeah, they did have a wrap that was giant.
And Marie said up there, you missed it. She said the temperature being outside super hot, you probably don't want to take an hour plus with your Keto Chow because your drink will get too hot. So that's a
true.
good point too.
Heather says, "Phil and I have consultations at Dr. Fit and Fabulous' new center on September 7th.
That's cool.
Sarah says, coffee butter on ribeye. Okay. Wow. Heather says, "I love the fast vitamin push I got." Yeah, a bunch of
she
people
did the IV treatment.
did injections.
That's cool.
We had a question a couple of months ago where someone was asking about the methylated B12 that we use and whether or not that's FDA approved. I did some research in it. I think we've talked about this before, but
Yes.
So we use methylcobalamin. Anyway, it's B12.
You can't remember the word?
I can't author off my head. No idea. I have these things written down, so I don't need to read.
There's not even one around here.
There's not. Anyway, but there are some places that sell B12 injections.
Yes.
And they're using a methylated B12 and they're making health claims as part of that.
Okay.
Now, the FDA usually doesn't get uppity unless you make unsubstantiated health claims, which is something we completely avoid doing.
We try not
It's
to say
you know what?
anything about anything. You could if you wanted to.
We don't even need to.
But that's your prerogative.
Yeah, and so there were a couple of companies
Keto
that
Chow.
were selling B12 supplements and saying that it cures all these diseases.
Yeah.
And that's what was not approved by the FDA.
I see. So that's not us.
Yep. Anthony says I chew my Keto Chow. I actually do that too. I kind of work it through my teeth, and yeah, it's great.
Especially when it's a pudding.
Susan says I have a slight
cream.
inflammatory response from almond flour, so rarely I eat it. As
Yeah.
this past weekend, it might be a while.
Yeah, I actually got a rash.
Really? Okay. Well, that says hi, my friend. Welcome on there. So he says, my Aspie grandson used to do the swish thing all the time, Chris. Now it's his coffee that elicits that attention.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, and the pizza was 9 total carbs. Oh, was it
Yeah.
9 total or 9 net? Anyway,
Well, whatever it was higher than what I wanted.
Shauna says, I like to drop a straw in the last bit of mine and slurp it up. So satisfying.
Oh,
Rachel
yeah.
from Two Crazy Ketos put some coffee in hers.
Oh, and swished it around. We usually will put a little bit of water and swish it around, and then.
If I'm out on the road, I'll do that as well. Hey, Jude says, I'm always sad when my Keto Chow is done. Yep, and there you go, Rachel. I swish coffee in the blender bottle, get all the Keto Chow. He says they told me that they pre-sold 14 and they gave the last bowl.
Yep.
Okay, maybe it was 15. Heather says I threw out the wrap and ate the guts.
Yeah. Well, and I, you know what's funny? I ate it and I was hungry and it satisfied me and I thought it was delicious. And the thing is, we were at a conference. There was not a lot of other food. I didn't feel guilty about it. It still didn't kick me out of ketosis. Like everything else I ate was good.
I was going to offer to go get Buffalo Wild Wings and bring it back.
But really, that was easier to eat than wings would have been. Like we would have had to all go to the bathroom and wash our hands 100 times. But
Joe says, great. Now I want jalapeno poppers.
I always want jalapeno. I actually bought jalapenos to make today and forgot about it.
Did you watch Keto on the Couch? Joe was talking about how they unfortunately got on a bit of a jalapeno popper kick.
Yeah.
Because, they had them there and then
I know,
they had some when they got back. And, but we still have some bacon and cream cheese. So let's
Guess we have to go get jalapeno. Well, and how long will they last? Because we're not going to be home till Monday.
Do we have jalapenos here?
Yeah, I bought some yesterday.
Oh, why?
To make today.
That didn't happen.
I know. Well, I made that ramen was good.
I recused myself from doing anything with the food because
I had a fit yesterday.
Yesterday I got home and there was nobody home. Well, Audrey and Haley were home, but they weren't doing
No,
anything.
They weren't home.
Yeah, they were.
Because they got home after you.
Yes, but I didn't start trying to figure out what to make for everybody until after they were already home and in their rooms not doing anything.
They needed their mama.
They were supposed to be making ramen because they wanted to make
it but they wanted to do it with me.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, kids are going to need something to eat. So I went to the freezer and I went shopping in my freezer.
Which is standard procedure for our marriage. If he gets home and there's nothing going for dinner, he just doesn't complain and makes it. And that's been so awesome.
Don't complain about stuff you're unwilling to fix.
That's right. And so that's always been so great. So of course, I was like...
And at this point, we had cheddar bacon hamburgers that I had smoked.
And so it was totally fine because we made it today and it was delicious.
We also had, what are the ones from Sam's Club? They have like green hatch chilies and
those were
and
good.
white cheese in them.
What was that?
They're really good.
They were really good.
Maybe they're poblano
peppers. I only ate one and I was full, which is funny because usually I eat a couple.
They say that Shauna has a neoprene covers for her blender bottles that keeps them cool.
And no.
That's really cool.
I got a couple of those too and I haven't used them.
Did
Too
you?
lazy to find them. When she started posting them, I bought some.
Heather says, words, Chris. Remember the words.
Yep.
Hey, words mean things, okay?
I do.
Melody says, if you're a slow drinker, get the insulated blender bottle. There you go. Sherry says, people that are positive for MTHFR need methylated B12.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
That's why we put it in there.
Not just B12, but also methylated B9, which is folate.
Yes.
And I don't remember if the other B vitamins are methylated. I don't know if those ones. I know that B12 and folate do need to be methylated if you're in THF.
Which is funny because when we read about that, it wouldn't really benefit us because we don't need it. I mean, it benefits us in the fact that we need it, but not the methylated kind. And we just decided that it would be good just in case somebody did need it. So we paid the extra money, which we still pay, to put the methylated one instead of just a regular folate.
It's also there for the pregnant women who technically aren't recommended to use Keto Chow, but if they do, we're going to help isn't it like the the cranial duct or something like that
Form?
needs to be formed. That's why you need folate.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
All prenatal vitamins have a lot of folate in them, and it's to help with that. Anyway, what was it? Elfina says, I've never had jalapeno poppers.
Today's your lucky day.
Susan says, good evening, Lynette. He says, the warden says that the next Keto Omaha, we'll just bring our Instant Pot and make enough pulled pork to share.
Yeah.
Too crazy camp. Joe says it was 9 total with all the hopping.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and Anthony says methylated B12 is awesome, especially if you have an issue with MTHFR gene.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And again, that's why we include it. But we don't make unsubstantiated health claims.
Yeah, we just stick it in there and then that's
Yep.
Also, we're not doctors. We don't really know anything.
We're also
just
not
learning
specialists.
We're just a couple of people that have a family and a shake that we like. And we made it and we keep learning and so we change it. And then we keep learning and so we change it. But we're just kind of regular Joes.
Speaking of Joe, he says we ate jalapeno poppers every day for 3 weeks. Like they had a bit of a problem.
That's funny.
Anthony says that Costco has frozen bacon wrapped jalapeno.
I think we've had
those
those
too.
too.
Sam's Club has them.
You know what else I like?
But they weren't as good as baking them
frozen
yourself.
ones was the bacon wrapped shrimp they had that we got at Christmas time. Those were good.
Layla Beck says I got my blood work back from my doctor's appointment yesterday. I plugged my lip numbers into the cholesterol code to the cholesterol code 2. And it says I'm good. I'm sure the doctor won't agree.
What?
Cholesterolcode.com is
Yes.
Dave Feldman's site that has all sorts of really good information
Totally.
about cholesterol. It seems like it's about a third of people when they start a ketogenic diet,
Mm-hmm.
their cholesterol goes way up.
Yep.
And about a third, it just kind of stays normal. And a third, it actually goes down.
I think I'm just like medium.
Yeah, you must be in the doesn't do anything.
I'm
I was in
so
the doesn't
boring.
really do anything either.
Holly's went up.
Did it really?
Mm-hmm.
He says I pre-make mine and freeze them, just reheat in the air fryer. Works
Oh,
great.
that's nice.
We could do that, but I don't think we're going to have time. We actually still we need a pack.
Yeah,
So
we're leaving
speaking
at 8
of
o'clock in the
Holly,
morning.
Speaking of Holly, she spent all day today packing the suitcases
Mm-hmm.
for Low Carb USA San Diego.
Yes, and I put her in a suitcase if you want to see on our Instagram.
It's on an Instagram
TV.
story. But yeah, so we need to pack still. Chris
Get
Jones says,
close.
good evening, Chris, Miriam, and everyone.
Hi, Chris.
Melody says, my local Sam's Club has the poppers already made up.
Yeah, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
idea.
Let's see. Heather says, Phil does 99% of the cooking. I am spoiled.
It's awesome.
Rachel says, I do 99% of the eating, Heather. That's fair, right?
Right? I'm with you there.
Shauna says, my blender bottle covered by Lit Handlers, size 28 ounce for the 28 ounce blender.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see. Sherry says, yep, thank you for putting in the methylated. Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's not hard to do
Yeah, it's
as
not that
long as
hard.
you require it
Mhm.
from the people
Manufacturer.
who are making the stuff. Let's see. Ticker Keto says Ketopalooza is going to rock. Oh, Ladybug says my A1C has crept up from 5.5
man.
to 5.9 since I started keto, though. That's
interesting. Well, think about all the treats that you might be having too.
That's true.
Maybe try doing some more meat and less anything else.
Yep.
And just see.
Joe
if
is
that
talking
helps.
about doing Dr. Barry's butter, beef, bacon,
Pork.
and is it and pork?
30 days.
Okay. Matt says I just did
I'm down for that. Can I have eggs with my pork?
It was pretty funny though, because Joe on one of his videos had said that Dr. Barry said that there's a limit on the number of eggs you can eat in a day. It's 5 dozen. And good luck
Yeah.
eating 5 dozen eggs. But we were actually talking to Dr. Barry, and I said, yeah, but Joe said that you put a limit on the number of eggs. And Dr. Barry's like, wait, what? I said no such thing. I said, no, Joe said that you said people can only eat 5 dozen eggs a day. And he's like, okay, that's about right.
Yeah. I think it's funny. The very first time I realized I'd eaten 10 eggs in one day, and I'm like, I just ate 10 eggs. Because I think
Doesn't
I
sound terrible.
had like fried eggs, and then I had boiled eggs, and then I had more boiled eggs, and then we had the egg pudding, and I'm all, wow, that was a lot of eggs for me.
Oh, we should make the egg pudding again.
I know.
Matt says, I just did an inventory and was able to order all the flavors I don't already have. My plans to do all the flavors is a go. Sherry says, we call the MTHFR the mother.
Oh, ho, ho.
Randy says, Joe, they probably had a treatment for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony says, my triglycerides went up high with avocado oil.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Jessica says mine went up, but not much, like 50 points, and then went down by 40.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Shauna says you can get covers other places, but these have a chapstick holder in the handle.
Oh.
First, because sometimes
For
they send you
chapstick.
free chapstick.
That's funny.
Oh, there it is.
Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Okay.
Are you sure? Beef? I don't remember it being butter.
Yeah.
I'm totally down to do 30 days of beef, bacon, and butter and eggs.
And I'm assuming that includes salt as well.
Yeah.
Heather says, what's your beef with bacon?
Yes.
Randy says, any challenge that includes bacon, and bacon has to be good. Let's see. Rebecca says, if I can only have one keto conference, which one should I go to?
Okay, so it depends on what you're looking
happened
for.
Yet this year?
KetoCon is the biggest. We think it's still going to happen. It has the most vendors and it has the most speakers.
Yeah. What part of the country are you in?
Yeah.
Actually
check
a big
close by to where you are. We haven't been to Ketopalooza before, but we love Autumn and Richard, and so we're so excited to do that. We're gonna do Keto Salt Lake next year.
Yeah, so what
That'll
we're
be
going
different.
to still is we're going to San Diego tomorrow.
Any of the low carb USAs are really good.
They're doctor even.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they're like $400.
But I think a lot of the keto shows are expensive, and so it just like
now personally
depends on
unless you're a doctor and you need continuing medical education credits. Low Carb USA is more geared towards them.
I don't know. I totally understand a bit of what they're saying.
Yeah, well, you've learned to understand what they're saying. Now, that's if you want to go there to learn. If you want to connect with a community, something like the Keto Summit Omaha, Ketopalooza that Autumn's doing.
There
Keto
was
Salt
a Kansas
Lake,
City one that hasn't happened.
one.
That was a community one.
The smaller community ones that are like maybe a day long tend to be a bit more fun to go to with still a good amount of information. But check out lowcarbevents.com. There's a list of all the different ones that we know of.
And we'll also, see maybe some changes happening because COVID's still moving around. So people are just starting to do them. Doing a meetup is really awesome. So you can even host a meetup and just have, 15 people come that are in your area.
Incidentally, if you host a meetup, let us know.
We'll send you some product to share.
We actually have stuff set aside to send to meetups.
Yep.
And a meetup is not you and your family hanging out in your house.
Unless they came over to try some Keto Chow.
Julie wants to know, how is the egg pudding? Does it taste like hard-boiled eggs at all?
It tastes really good.
So
I really, really like it.
Maria's recommendation is to use hard-boiled eggs. We talked to her about this last week. And I think it was somebody, maybe it was Joe, had used the pre-made peeled hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no. Don't use those. Hard-boil them yourself or scramble them like Chris tells you to.
Oh, that's nice. Because you tried it. Because we were curious when we were in Costa Rica with her if we could do the scrambled eggs. And so Chris came home and he did scrambled eggs and he thought it didn't taste different at all. I like the cinnamon in it because I feel like it covers up that little sulfur taste. But it's interesting because when you put it in the fridge overnight, you can't really taste the sulfur anymore, I think.
Yeah, so
that's my opinion.
When I did a side-by-side comparison of 2 batches, I did 10 eggs hard-boiled and 10 eggs scrambled. The hard-boiled ones, when I first mixed it up, did have a sulfurous smell to it. Put that in and tried it. Put that in the fridge. Made the ones with scrambled. And I didn't even like hard scramble the eggs. They were still kind of soft. That did not have the sulfurous smell at all or the taste to it. The next morning when we got them both out, as far as I'm concerned, they were exactly the same at that point. Once it had cooled off and everything,
Yeah. You couldn't really tell. And they were both
they were
delicious.
really good.
What we haven't done, which we should do because we have Keto Chow and we like it, is made the egg pudding with the Keto Chow added.
I've done that.
You have?
Yeah.
Why was I not there? I must have just not paid attention at all. I have not made it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Carmen says, wasn't that called the Better Baby Diet to help people conceive? It might have been.
Maybe.
It certainly worked for
somebody.
What's Nisha? Anyway, Kristi Keto says, yep, I love breaking bacon with people. We don't break bread anymore. Alfina says, is pork belly considered bacon? I would say so.
It's whatever you want to call it. We call it meat candy.
Blue Dove says, can I have Keto Chow coffee, beef, butter, bacon, and bread, eggs?
I think you can.
Ah. Well, and Dr. Barry's thing is, he said, if people do that for a month, he actually is offering $1,000 for anyone who can gain weight.
Yeah,
eating
doing that.
Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Nothing else. If you can gain weight eating those 4 things.
Yeah, because his premise is you can't overeat. Like you can't force yourself to overeat meat because your body says no. Unlike with carbs and even keto treats that taste sweet. Like any sweetness.
Carmen says, yeah, I'm telling you guys, Google Better Baby Diet and that's it. All right. Rebecca's in Southeast Michigan.
Okay, so Rebecca doesn't go by Rebecca, but do you go by Becky? I don't know what you said.
Now, there was a mini soda meetup.
Oh, yep. That happened a couple of times. The problem is that everything that was before COVID just hasn't quite got going yet. And so
if it fits into your schedule, Keto Palooza is probably your best bet.
I think the tickets are gone.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can always email Autumn and say, yeah, you get it. Let's see. Sherry says, loved your ice cream maker review. Just bought the Cuisinart. Nice. Too Crazy Keto says, yep, host a meetup. Be the change.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maitreya says that she likes the scrambled eggs better.
Yeah. It's the do you want to wash the pan or do you want to peel the eggs? Like
I would rather wash the pan.
I would rather hand the eggs to Ruth and she can make it. Or you could make it. I could wash the pan.
Anthony says, didn't Kristi use hard-boiled pre-made one? She might have, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Too Crazy Camper says, she said the pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs have a vinegar taste because of the
That totally makes sense. I think it'd still probably be good.
Yep. And Rachel says, yeah, we're going to try it with the scrambled eggs because our backyard chickens have crazy dense shells and they're not super fun to shell. No.
They're a pain in the butt.
Well, and fresh eggs are awful.
Although we do like using the Instapot, it's still way easier to peel even the store-bought eggs. But we actually buy eggs and have backyard chicken eggs because even though our chickens lay like 4 or 5 eggs a day,
sometimes
there are 8 of us, and when we eat eggs, we eat the eggs.
Which reminds me, we need to get some eggs, or Haley needs to get some eggs because she's going to make chaffles on Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if there's going to be enough. TC's Life says, I love egg pudding, but I use scrambled. I put a little cinnamon and sweetener in the eggs when I cook them to help layer the flavor. Nice.
That's a good idea.
Shauna says, I cannot do hard-boiled eggs in any way, shape, or form. I've tried.
Oh, but Shauna, Holly doesn't like boiled eggs.
Yes.
And she likes the pudding.
She likes the pudding.
She had to like really wrap her brain around it.
Has she ever made the pudding, or she just likes eating
I think
the pudding?
she just tasted it.
Okay.
Yeah. But she ate a whole serving, and said she liked it.
Heather says gain 10 pounds of fat, not weight. That's the thing.
Right, because you'll probably gain muscle.
Weight, but you wouldn't gain fat.
That would be cheating.
Yep. Elfina says meat candy is what I'm going to call it from now on. Rachel says with carbs in my body was like, don't worry, we'll make more room.
Yes, right?
Yeah, Carmen's asking me about scrambled pudding. So if you Google Maria Emmerich egg pudding, you'll find it.
Or even just Maria Emmerich pudding, I bet you'll find
that would, or Maria egg pudding. She recommends using a Vitamix. But when we were in Costa Rica,
we just used the run-of-the-mill random
one, and it
worked great. And then we just put plastic wrap on the blender and put it in the fridge because there's nothing to store anything in.
Yep.
Oh, but it was still good the next day and the next day.
Yep.
It was so yummy.
TC's Life says, yeah, Keto Palooza is sold out. Joe says he will pay $1,000 to anyone who gains 10 pounds of fat eating only beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and zero carb spices. For 90
days. Oh, I thought it
days.
was 30 days.
And you have to document it with DEXA scans.
Will you give me $1,000 to do that?
What's that?
Will you give me $1,000 to do that?
Right.
You could buy that many shoes.
Lisa says, I love using my Instant Pot. Yeah, Marie says they're super easy to peel. She said that she does the eggs in the Instant Pot, low pressure for 1 minute, fast release, take out and sit for 3 to 5 minutes, then move to cold water.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I just do, on the stove, I do like 15 minutes, a soft boil, and then put them in cold water for like 1 minute.
Shauna, we're making her die inside. She wants us to stop saying hard-boiled eggs.
Oh, Shauna, hard-boiled eggs.
Ladybug says we should do a meetup in Southeast Michigan. When they plan something.
You should.
Awesome. Brian says we need a Keto Chow challenge sometimes.
Yeah, we should. That's a great idea.
Jerry says Instant Pot so easy. 555 method.
Did you see Carmen says she can't do boiled eggs either? So there you go, Shauna.
Scrambled.
You and Holly and Carmen, soul sisters.
Yep. Joe put a link to
the pudding.
The pudding. Joe. So I'm going to repost that into Facebook. Randy says, Jerry, that method is what I use. Oh, Rebecca uses a Dash egg cooker. No, don't need to worry about timing. Mike says, I boil my eggs in the Instant Pot. It's so awesome. Like 30 eggs can be hard boiled. Yeah, I like to do it because we can do
so many.
Like 5 dozen eggs.
Yeah.
Let's see. Debbie says just scored 6 dozen eggs from Hy-Vee for 99 cents each dozen.
Oh, nice.
Quick to peel with the Instant Pot. Let's see. Yeah, gaining 10 pounds of fat isn't worth $1,000. Yeah, but you won't gain the fat.
That's the thing.
Well, Heath is off to bed. We got a couple more questions.
The next one's actually really good. So it says, my doctor changed me from clean keto to the Mediterranean diet. Can I still use Keto Chow in this program?
That's a good question. Now, the biggest problem with this question is, what is the Mediterranean diet?
What's the Mediterranean diet? Why did he say you needed to change to that? And why didn't you question your doctor?
Well, and the thing about it is, your doctor telling you to do something like that, my doctor tells me weird stuff all the time. And I always remind him that keto is a thing, even though he worked in an office with the keto doctor.
He always forgets every time.
He always forgets. But the biggest thing, like I said, what do you mean by Mediterranean diet?
Like,
because
did he tell you exactly
proponents
what
of
to
a
eat?
Mediterranean diet can't agree what a Mediterranean diet is because there's no actual definition. The people who live in the Mediterranean actually eat a lot of red meat, like really a lot of red meat. So, yeah, I actually can't answer that question unless I know what's meant by the Mediterranean
Yeah, because
diet.
if you can't have milk, then you couldn't have Keto Chow because it's a milk protein.
Yep.
If you can't have fiber, well, you probably can't have fiber. If you can't have, I don't know. There's just a lot of things.
There's a lot of things that could mean. So.
But you can choose what you eat.
Yep.
So eat what you would like to eat.
Well, it's kind of like,
and what
I see the Mediterranean diet as a bit of a cop-out. It's the well, you need to eat a balanced diet. Nobody knows what that means.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually mean anything. It's the platitude that people say when they don't know what to say. Things like, Mediterranean diet.
It's like saying low carb. Low carb could be a lot of things.
It could.
Low carb is carnivore. It's ketovore. It's keto. It's low carb. It's lower than 100 carbs or even 200 carbs? Like, that's still a lot of things.
Mike says Mediterranean diet is a fad for magazines. I think Americans invented it. If you read Big Fat Surprise by Nina Teicholz, she has an entire chapter about the so-called Mediterranean diet and how it was actually invented by olive oil companies that sent a bunch of reporters out to like Italy and stuff like that on an all expenses paid tour to get them to write about it. And you have people from Greece and you have people from Italy, and they do not agree on what a Mediterranean diet is. They're very, very opinionated and they don't agree. So, yeah, Mediterranean diet, it's made up. Anyway, here's a good question.
Okay.
I just got the Keto Chow Daily Minerals. The bottle says take once daily. The web page says 3 times daily, which is correct.
Okay, so once daily is if you take the whole tablespoon at one time.
Mm-hmm.
3 times daily would be if you had 3 teaspoons.
Yeah. So a full dose is 3
Tablespoon.
teaspoons, also known as a tablespoon, also
Yep.
known as 15 milliliters.
Yep, and we
Take it wherever you want.
yeah, it's different for everybody because if you take it on an empty stomach, it might hit you hard in the stomach. I haven't had that happen, but I don't know. I usually don't take a whole dose at one time anyway, but I find that I like to just do it, vary it over the day. But we wanted to let you know that you should be taking a whole dose during a day.
Yep.
We just maybe didn't explain that clear enough. So
Jerry says Mediterranean diet's like gas measurements. Your mileage may vary. Your diet may vary.
yeah,
Rebecca
your
says,
Mediterranean may vary.
Tom Stelauer has a keto Mediterranean cookbook.
Oh, that's cool.
What defined as what?
Well, whatever it is in the cookbook, then I guess.
Yep. Okay. Here's a good question. Mary asked, I'm on a low sodium diet. Can I still use Keto Chow?
Maybe. It depends on how low your sodium is.
Also depends on why you're doing a low sodium.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that your doctor hasn't read any of the research from the past 20 years that indicates that the best thing to lower blood pressure is a low carbohydrate diet, and reducing sodium is not the way to lower blood pressure? Or do you have congestive heart failure?
Yeah, that may be different.
And you legitimately have to.
You really should listen to your doctor, right? We're not saying that doctors are bad. We're just saying occasionally you need to question and say, why?
Yeah.
And then maybe look other places why, and then come back and say, well, I found this, why? And I know that that's frustrating because a lot of times they just need to get you through and they need to get to their next patient, and that's okay. Because
they also like to prescribe pills.
Things are busy sometimes. So I get that, you know, they don't always have a ton of time to research things with you, but like Ken Berry always says, you know, it's your problem. It's not the doctor's problem.
Yeah.
And so you need to figure out what's best for you.
Yeah. It's not your fault, but it is your problem.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was trying to say. I was thinking about something else to say. Okay, so low sodium. So I had some kidney stones a while back. I think the girls were 10. And I was in a little bit of pain, and we decided to go ahead and do the pulverization surgery thing. That's not surgery, but they go on in your back, and then they do the pulsing, the ultrasound pulsing or whatever, and then they crush up the kidney stones and then go out. So
crank up the AC/DC.
Yeah, they crank up the AC/DC in your back. Anyway, so I did that and it came out and it was all fine and dandy and stuff. Well, my doctor, my kidney doctor, put me on no salt. And this is before we started keto. And so I just started doing the potassium salt, the no salt, for quite some time. But so when they checked out my kidney stone, I brought back the pieces and they did an analysis on it. And they said, well, it's oxalates, and they said
broccoli.
That and spinach.
Spinach, yep.
Yeah, right. So the things that I ate the most that were in that category was chocolate, broccoli, and the darker greens, and then specifically spinach. And he's, you know, don't eat any salt anymore. But I noticed when we started keto, and I just kind of said, oh, it's fine, even though I haven't been eating salt forever. My body started to crave the salt even more, you know, keto, but I feel better when I eat salt, even when I wasn't doing keto. Like if I ever ate something that had salt in it, I always felt better. So, and I felt better in my mind. That's my own experience. I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor, but I haven't had any kidney stones since then. So I feel like I'm doing okay.
Jerry says a healthy patient is a lost customer.
Yep.
Let's see. Sherry says I have Lyme disease, and my doctor told me keto is very good for pain management.
Oh, that's nice.
I think Carrie Brown would agree with you on that. Randy says, I agree. Ask your doctor questions. I've found that my doctor will let me know. If she doesn't, no, and will get back to me. It's very
that's
important to
nice.
have conversations with your doctor and
Yeah.
not just let your doctor dictate to you what you want to do.
Yeah. And you know what I feel like is the best response from a doctor? I don't know. Let me find out. I had a doctor who was my primary care physician before we moved, and he was actually my doctor when I was a kid, and so he's a little bit older now, but I took all my babies there when they were born, and he was it a rash? It was some rash one of the kids had, and he's like, I have never seen a rash quite like this before. So he's like, do you care if I call my wife? She's a pediatrician. So he like brought in this other doctor, and he got his wife on the phone, and I was just sitting there on the thing, and he's like, look at that right here. You know, can you see? Like it's kind of like, you know, and he was like looking at her, and it took way forever long because he got this other pediatrician in there, and they looked at it, and we're just trying to figure it out, and they were able to diagnose it, and it was okay. And he's like, but do come back, you know, let's see how this goes, because he wanted to make sure that she was fine. And it was so refreshing to have him say, I don't know what that is. Let me figure that out for you, you know. And because he's a family practice, like he wasn't a pediatrician, so he didn't see babies all of the time, and so
I see babies all the time. They poop.
It was really refreshing that he was able to just say, I don't know.
Okay.
So like, he's like a human? What?
Debbie says my doctor won't even talk to me about keto or looking at the links I sent her. Look what they're doing.
Oh, man.
Renee is on with her new screen name. Says, man, I was going to order a blender bomb. It was sold out. Gave my boss a bunch of Keto Chow. He just returned to work after ICU stay due to the virus, and he was unaware he is diabetic. That's a terrible way to find out you're diabetic, but it's better to find out that way.
Oh my gosh. I'm
going into a coma.
Oh.
Sarah says that she's a chronic pain patient of 20 years, and keto has helped immensely.
Oh, yeah.
Patty's on. Better late than never.
Hey.
Been working 14-hour days.
Oh.
Ready.
Finally? What? Like already started like 2 weeks ago? Oh
and
my
she
gosh.
says, thank you for providing my easy nutrition. Wow. Let's see. 2 more. Well, can you do an 16-8 fasting window with just Keto Chow?
Sure thing.
I've done it before.
I've done even less than that.
Yep. Rachel of Two Crazy Ketos did a 23-1.
I don't think I could do that.
Window. Mm-hmm. She had 3 meals of Keto Chow as ice cream in an hour to prove a point.
Silly.
And the last one, or last 2, she was eating in the bathtub. So awesome.
Oh, that was a funny sound.
Yep. Okay. Question about total carbs.
Okay.
I'd like to try your products, but I track total carbs and notice they're pretty high in total carbs. Which ingredients are making the carb count so high?
I can tell you exactly what that is. Fiber.
It's the acacia gum. Which is interesting because I agree that it's good to have a total carb count.
It totally is.
Especially when so many products are using sweetened fibers to thicken stuff up and to sweeten.
Yeah.
That's actually something we were talking about that just the other day. Acacia gum, on the other hand, if you're going to have fiber, it's pretty much the best one I could think of. So, Wendy and Harry are here. Let's see. Too Crazy Keto says it was a great day doing the Keto Chows in an hour.
My stomach would have hurt. Oh.
Lisa says I tried eating just meat for 2 days and it gave me severe cramps.
That's interesting. Man.
You might need to work.
Well, and you know what's interesting too, like because I did carnivore for a few days or something, and I noticed like I got constipated, and I think some people you have to kind of inch into it, and it depends on what meat you're eating and then what other things you're eating before that. So I feel like Chris and I are kind of going more and more carnivore. The longer we're keto, the kind of more carnivore we are. Like, what did you eat for lunch today? Oh, salmon and shrimp. That's what I ate for lunch today. That feels pretty carnivore to me. Like, what did I eat for breakfast? Boiled eggs. Yeah. That's all. I actually haven't had any Keto Chow since we got home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. Got one last question for you.
Okay.
Is there any way the larger size could be put into number 10 cans or the pantry size cans to make it shelf stable for 15 to 30 years? Honestly, this product is pure gold for diabetics who are also into food storage or prepping. So we aren't going to pay to have them put into the cans. Now, one of the reasons for that is in order to put them into the cans like that and seal them and put a 15 to 30 year expiration date, we would have to do testing in order to have it.
Yeah, accelerated testing. And then we would possibly have to change it so there was more of a preservative in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we would be willing to do that. Also, with the vitamins, how we have the specialty vitamins, that may be more difficult to preserve for a longer period of time.
Yep.
So it's interesting. I think it would take a lot of work to figure out how to do that. And I don't know.
Recommends putting them in the freezer. That will extend the shelf life.
Yeah, I will.
Now, here's the other reason why we're not going to do it that way. We only have 2 sizes of Keto Chow. We have the individual packets, and we have the 21 meal bags. We don't have a 5-gallon bucket. We don't have a 10 meal bag. We don't have any other sizes, and we won't do any other sizes. And the main reason for that is we want to keep the costs.
Yeah, that's true.
As low as possible.
And by doing the less sizes, it makes it easier for us to.
Yeah, with the 21 meal bag, and in the bag, it conforms to a bunch of different boxes, so we can ship them out very inexpensively.
Fixing my hair.
If we were to use like a hard-sided container, there would always be air in the top, and you would be paying for that air as part of the shipping.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it costs a lot more to use those cans.
Yeah, it does. So if you want to, after you get the Keto Chow, you can put it into containers, which is what we do. You could take it to a canning place and can them if you wanted to.
You could.
There are these places called Bishop storehouses that are scattered throughout the country where you actually can things in
I don't know, you could
cans.
Bring stuff in.
You used to be able to. I don't know if you still can.
Probably not right now, for sure.
Elizabeth says you can vacuum seal stuff, which would absolutely do it as well. So Loving on Keto says 21 meal bag, says fresh until gone when using it too.
Yeah.
And we do another thing about the bags that we use. We had them tested to a 24-month shelf life.
Yeah.
They actually probably last a lot longer than that. The bags that we use are overkill.
Yeah, they have that serious
protection on them and everything like that is way above and beyond what they need.
You could probably store oil in that and it would
it's a
not
super
oxidize.
Good oxygen barrier. Anyway, like I said, they're overkill, but they work well. They don't puncture, which is kind of why we went for the thicker stuff so that they ship better.
We rarely get holes in the bags.
Yep. So, Too Crazy Keto says nothing special about the 23-1. Just wanted to see how small I could make an eating window. Yep.
Yeah, I've done 23-1, but not with Keto Chow.
Yep. Sean says another idea: just consume it for the date. Lisa says I can handle pickle juice better than the apple cider vinegar, and she has an ostomy bag. So she has to be very careful about this.
Renee does?
No, Lisa. I have to be careful as I have an ostomy bag.
Oh.
But she says the shakes work great for her.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, you need to be careful.
Randy says, I like the bags. They work well in cabinets in the fifth wheel. So yeah, again, that's why we only have the 2 sizes. We are not planning on making larger sizes or in between sizes, just because these work really well and we want to keep the cost down for everyone involved. So, and with that,
we're going to go pack.
So we're going to
go to San Diego and hope we see somebody tomorrow. That'd be cool.
Mike says, I believe they closed the dry cannery here in Las Vegas and tell people to buy the already canned foods. You can buy your own dry canner, though, if you want. They're not cheap, though.
They probably take up a lot of space, too.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing you can do is you can get the vacuum sealers. A lot of times they have a thing that you can use with a mason jar. They will vacuum seal a mason jar. They're really cool.
Plus, they look cute.
Okay. Well, we're out. Everybody have a fantastic day. And tomorrow we'll probably
do it at the airport.
We'll do it at the airport before we take off.
Before we fly. So we'll see you tomorrow with our masks on.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.